Shall we get into this fun little discussion?
Why do I feel like every time there's a segment you guys think I'm going to go off on, you guys all like tiptoe into it?
I just can't wait for it. Like, this is more anticipation and excitement than anything. Because my guy Lincoln Riley was speaking up.
I mean, he is pulling rank, ain't he?
Yeah, damn right he is.
Dang.
As he should.
As he
Deserves
should.
respect, man.
That's right.
He's done amazing things there at USC. Lincoln Riley was speaking to reporters in San Antonio where they'll be playing TCU in the Alamo Bowl coming up later on. And
it wasn't USC that didn't want to play.
He had some thoughts about this Notre Dame cancellation that we've discussed on the show. Let's take a listen.
It's pretty simple. We've both worked for months to try to find a solution. Notre Dame was very vocal about the fact that they would play us anytime, anywhere. And obviously them not having a conference affiliation gives them an ability to be pretty flexible with their scheduling. We went back, Jen Cohen, our AD, went back to Notre Dame roughly a couple of weeks ago with a scenario and a proposal that would extend the series for the next 2 years. And we took Notre Dame at their word that they would play us anytime, anywhere. That proposal was rejected. Not only was it rejected, 5 minutes after we got the call, it was announced that they had scheduled another opponent, which I'll give them credit. That might be the fastest scheduling act in college football history.
Oh, wow! That wasn't a shade grenade. That was a shade rocket.
I mean, you gonna take that?
Dang, go ahead,
Well,
Q.
first
What are you talking about?
You gonna take that?
What's he talking about, Q?
I've said this publicly too. It's rich coming from the guy who basically questioned playing the game in general back in 2024. And it's rich coming from him because he couldn't beat Notre Dame, really, if you look at his record. I mean, I don't know, Jonas. Like, is his record any better as a head coach at USC than Clay Helton's was?
Not really.
Hasn't won a conference championship. Didn't win it in the Pac. Hasn't won one in the Big Ten. Never won a Rose Bowl. Hasn't made the playoff. He has a worse winning percentage as the head coach of SC than Clay Helton. So it's funny to me. It's entertaining to me that you hear SC fans defend Lincoln Riley, when in reality, he's been a worse version of the guy you ran out of your program. And so you're defending these comments that he makes. And so here's what's interesting about it, is this is a PR campaign by Southern Cal. And if you go through the timeline of how this all started, why this rivalry no longer exists, it really started with Lincoln Riley and his inability to want to compete back when he was at Oklahoma. Had the chance to go to LSU. That didn't work out. Didn't want to go with Oklahoma to the SEC because he knew they couldn't compete and he wouldn't compete. So he goes to the Pac-12 for easier, greener pastures. And he hasn't been able to win anything. And so now he tries to make it easier on himself by not playing one of the most storied rivalries. One of the reasons why you go to SC, and as Petros has talked about, one of the reasons why it made SC even relevant is that rivalry every year versus Notre Dame. And this isn't coming from like a Notre Dame perspective on that. That's the truth. Whether Southern Cal people want to realize that or not, that game brought you to relevance because it's a storied rivalry between two programs who were competing for national championships throughout history of college football and have put as many players in the NFL as any in college football.
But he's saying y'all don't want to play.
And he did, I'm not done.
Okay,
and he did away with it because he knew he could no longer compete with it. And so when you look at how this started, it started with his words. And then it started with an athletic director in Jen Cohen who inherited Lincoln Riley and initially was against this. I will point blank say that. And she knows it too because I've had those conversations with her. And what changed over time is they started to realize like, oh, we can use this as a convenient excuse because we can't beat Notre Dame right now. And we're struggling to compete within the Big Ten. And you know what the other thing is? They've got no money. They want to talk like they've got money and they're going to kind of, flash whatever recruiting they're doing. They don't have any money. Because if they did have money, Lincoln Riley would have been bought out by now.
Dang.
And this is the same head coach, by the way, who was back channeling for other jobs that have come open in recent years. UNC. And by the way, this is all factual. This isn't like me making this stuff up. This stuff goes around for a reason. So I would say this is all a PR campaign by Southern Cal because they know this. They know that Notre Dame's not playing in a bowl game. So they're going to have these opportunities to speak to the media and react and respond to all of this. And on top of it, they know they're the ones that were trying to go behind the scenes and work with Netflix to try to figure out a neutral site game, which goes against everything NBC Sports has, contracted to through the Big Ten and their Big Ten affiliation, which upset the Big Ten. It upset NBC Sports. It upsets NBC for the home game that Notre Dame hosts every other year with SC. So they're already ticking off partners that are a part of it for the TV distribution rights. And then what they did, and this is the funniest part of all of this, and this is why the decision to go with BYU happened so quickly from Notre Dame's side, because SC's offers weren't serious. SC essentially, when they tried to extend it for 2026 and 2027, were like, oh, why don't we play September 6th? And then they'll sit there and say, well, you guys are not conference affiliated, so it should be easy for you guys to move some of your games. And they say that because they don't want to take into account the fact that just because the Notre Dame's not part of conference doesn't mean they can move games around. Because who they actually play on September 6th at Lambeau Field is Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a part of the Big Ten. So they know that they're tied to the Big Ten conference scheduling. So even though everyone wants to act like Notre Dame can make whatever schedule they want and everything else, it's a lot more difficult than that because once you start playing conference play, those weeks are allotted. And so it's really hard to fit in a non-conference game later on in the season. That's one of the reasons why Notre Dame will struggle to kind of put together some of these schedules without a team coming off a bye. Because they're a tough opponent, a non-conference opponent later in the season, so everyone's going to want 2 weeks to prepare for them. And they'll get their best shot. But SC knows that that's the lie that they can throw out there and no one's going to challenge on the SC side of things and go, wait a second. Wait, so just because they're not a part of conference, isn't it hard to schedule like Michigan State like later on in the season because they're a part of the Big Ten, or Wisconsin or Purdue or any of these other programs that are a part of this, like or Miami for that matter? Doesn't that make that figuring out where they're going to play kind of tough? And the truth of the matter is they offered out a proposal that they knew Notre Dame wasn't going to be able to play because of their current schedule for 2026. That's already set with some of those early dates because SC wanted to play before conference play. And some of those dates are already set. You can't move that already. They already had to move the Wisconsin Lambeau Field game. I think that was like back during COVID, I believe. And so they had to have like a makeup through that.
Is there money
So that was the reality.
associated?
It would have been like Southern Cal said, hey, let's play in 2026, 2027 in Mars. And Notre Dame's like, we can't get there yet. And they're like, well, I guess we can't do the series. I guess you'll have to find someone else then. And if they cared so much about extending the rivalry, why only do it for 2 years? Why not just say, yeah, we're going to keep playing this in perpetuity. And this is how it's going to look. It's because they don't want to play it anymore because they got a head coach who knows you can't win it.
Is there money connected to BYU playing Notre Dame in that game? Or is it just a scheduled game?
Well, they'll get the home gate. Like, they'll get a non-conference opponent who will obviously sell out.
So they're going to go to BYU. So they give BYU.
Yeah, they go to BYU next year.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just curious, what
these are all statistical facts, too. It's not opinion. Like, you'll look at any of the ACC attendance for the games they play, Notre Dame plays on the road. Go look at the difference in attendance for those games when Notre Dame plays versus other teams. Go look at the difference in ratings. I mean, it's all money if you really think about it.
Sure it is.
And that's the reality is SC doesn't have any money. They've got no one who wants to step up and pay the bill to move on from Lincoln Riley, who has not been what they signed up for when he got there. And so now you have an athletic director that has to have a working relationship with him because for the foreseeable future, that's what it is. Until someone steps up or until they achieve at a high enough level where they can then justify and say, whoa, see, there's our coach. He's doing great. He won a Big Ten championship. Does that seem anywhere close for SC? They think that with this recruiting class and these guys they re-sign back, that next year is one of those years that could be, or maybe 2027. But it also happens to be the fact that they can't get from out underneath his contract. And meanwhile, he's back channeling for other jobs.
One of the things that
One
of the things.
Just a little last bang bang, huh?
One of the things that
Let me put this that way too. That came from an SC alum, multiple SC alums. So if anyone has an issue with that, take it up with your own alumni base.
Well, and that's part of like my point on this is one thing I've learned when it comes to people who played college and then played professionally. Like, you don't really care about who you played for professionally as much as you do in college. That's your alum. That's who you represent. Like, you guys
historically.
Yeah, it's the way it is. Like, you guys, like, I mean, you don't care about Washington or the New York Giants, the Browns or the Broncos.
I care about the Browns.
Well, I'm saying, and from the standpoint of,
I care about Washington.
Like, your passion is for your alma mater, like where you played college ball. Like, that's like, you go back. That's the love and the
it's
passion
just different.
you have.
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah,
So the reason I bring that up is, and I think that stands for a lot of people, when you've got your own alum who would love nothing more than to defend the honor of their school that they played for, and your own alum is coming out saying, we look soft as S with this move.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, I mean, you would, like, bend over backwards to support, and there's been some that have done it. Like, you would do whatever it takes to support, but you've got people coming out and saying, this is indefensible. We have no response to this. It's a soft move. And the fact that USC is saying, oh, well, we just don't want to play him later in the year because it's going to so then you're worried about the matchup because you're worried about losing. Like, and if you go into anything worried about losing, like, well, God, if something bad you in essence are going in scared. And that's why I look at this and I go, Lincoln Riley can say whatever the hell he wants. And he can talk about all the things that, and Jen Cohn can come out and say, well, we're doing this and we tried these options. They can say whatever they want. The proof is in the pudding. The facts are there. And even your own family, quote unquote, is looking at you with a side eye going, this is kind of a bitch move, if we're being honest.
You just can't. A coach should not be able to make this decision. That's all I'll say. It's the damage that this does, which maybe people don't see it, maybe they do. I don't know, but the damage that it does to the whole landscape of college football, historically speaking, is what they say, irreparable, something like that, right? It's like it's a coach should not be able to make that decision.